E eles vão falar em francês e eu vou, bom, a traduzir, tentar traduzir o mais fielmente possível em português. Merci d'être là. Je sais que c'est un effort énorme pour vous être là avec nous parce que vous faites une tournée avec le film et surtout, je pense que vous venez des États-Unis il y a peu de temps. Et, donc je disais que le film, donc, il va représenter la Belgique aux Oscars et c'est pour ça qu'il a changé un peu tout le programme. Et qu'en plus, bon, on sort le film ici jeudi en profitant que vous soyez là et qu'on puisse faire toute la presse pour que le film mérite une très bonne sortie. Merci beaucoup. Je voulais savoir d'abord, c'est un projet que vous avez pensé il y a longtemps, c'est un projet que c'est la crise qui touche un peu tout, qui vous a au jour d'aujourd'hui amené à ce projet qui si bien et si justement parle de ce que malheureusement on vit beaucoup de petites et moyennes entreprises.
In French. He translates. Thank you for coming. On a pensé à cette histoire quand on a lu un livre de Bourdieu, qui est un sociologue français, qui, dans un livre qui s'appelait La misère du monde, raconte une histoire qui a eu lieu chez Peugeot, dans les usines Peugeot, où dans une équipe, il y avait un homme qui était un peu moins performant, absent, et la maîtrise, la direction de l'atelier a proposé aux gens de cette équipe de se séparer de ce travailleur.
Eles pensaram neste filme depois de lerem um livro do Bourdieu, que é um grande sociólogo francês, morreu há pouco tempo, chamado A Miséria do Mundo. Encontra que nas fábricas Peugeot aconteceu uma situação em que havia um dos trabalhadores que era menos, menos ativos, menos performants, menos capazes e que, portanto, aconteceu uma situação mais ou menos destas.
Et dans cette entreprise, évidemment, Peugeot, vous imaginez, il y avait un syndicat.
Peugeot havia um sindicato.
Mais le délégué de ce département-là était en vacances.
Mas o delegado sindical estava de férias.
Et il a essayé de réintégrer le travailleur et finalement, ils n'y sont pas arrivés.
E eles tentaram reintegrar o trabalhador, mas não conseguiram.
Et c'est pour ça que ça a été un fait divers, si je puis dire, enfin, une histoire importante, parce que la solidarité qui normalement joue ne jouait pas, n'a pas joué.
Por isso é que foi fait divers importante, porque normalmente a solidariedade que existe não estava lá.
Alors nous, on s'est dit, donc, dans ces années, au début des années 2000, on va faire un scénario qui va aller contre la situation vécue par cet homme.
Nós pensámos agora no princípio dos anos 2000 em escrever uma história que fosse contra um pouco a história do que aconteceu a esse trabalhador.
Alors tout de suite on a pensé à une femme, on a pensé que ça se passera en 2 jours, qu'il y aura un vote le vendredi, parce que là aussi il y avait eu un vote, et puis qu'il y aura un autre vote le lundi.
E então pensaram na estrutura do filme, exatamente, que se passaria em 2 dias, que teria havido um voto de sexta e depois haveria outro voto de segunda-feira. E também houve um voto quando aconteceu isso na Peugeot.
Alors on avait mis en place tout de suite le dispositif donc, de cette femme qui va chez l'un, chez l'autre, aidée. On n'a pas tout de suite pensé au mari, c'est venu plus tard, mais aidée par quelqu'un. Et on a donné une maladie à cette femme, une dépression, pour la rendre absente pour que les gens qui décident, c'est-à-dire ils sont d'accord qu'on la licencie, mais ils ne l'ont plus vue depuis 2 mois. Donc c'est plus facile, évidemment, et c'est moins cruel.
Donc ele deu, pronto, todo este dispositivo estava mais ou menos já determinado, que essa mulher, durante esses 2 dias, fosse tentar encontrar as outras pessoas. O marido a ideia do marido veio mais tarde. E, por outro lado, a ideia também de ela ter tido uma depressão, ter estado doente, é para justificar também porque há 2 meses que ela não estava presente e o que justificava de uma certa maneira porque é que o voto de sexta-feira tinha sido assim.
Et alors, effectivement, on a décidé de le faire, de l'écrire, le scénario, suite aux conséquences économiques et sociales de la crise financière de 2008, qui dans notre pays, et sans doute encore plus ici, en Grèce, en Italie et en Espagne, sont plus terribles.
E
Voilà.
então resolveram escrever isto exatamente depois da crise de 2008, onde estava pronto, onde a crise também chegou à Bélgica, mas eles, como também chegou, mas com muito mais força, os países do Sul, Portugal, Espanha, Itália e a Grécia. Donc c'est ça que c'est. Donc, ce que je voulais savoir, maintenant, avant de passer au public, parce que je pense que c'est plus intéressant, c'est la question que tout le monde vous fait. C'est Marion qui a voulu travailler avec vous, c'est de choix, comment elle est venue. Bon, déjà, elle est absolument étonnante, évidemment, et complètement crédible, ce qui n'est pas le cas de beaucoup de situations comme celle-là. Oui, qu'une actrice avec un parcours comme elle accepte d'une certaine façon de venir dans un territoire que normalement ce n'est pas le sien. Mais comme grande actrice qu'elle est, pour moi, c'est absolument surprenant tout le travail qu'elle a fait ici. Et donc, c'est le désir mutuel, un désir plus l'un de l'autre, qui a convaincu l'autre, d'où le désir primitif a été. C'était chez vous ou chez elle?
Wow. Et do you understand French or not? Oui? Okay, good.
On le fait en français? Ok.
Non.
Bon, parce que sinon ça coupe là.
Ouais.
Si tu veux, c'est la fluidité de.
But see, if you don't understand, tell us. We will try to speak English. Okay, you prefer English?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Everybody understands English.
Yeah, and in Belgian. Belgian language. I will try in English, but I'm not sure. When you make a film, when you are a filmmaker, with the actors, you have two possibilities. The first one, you choose actors who are not well known, and like this, they can disappear behind the character, and they are not the obstacles between the audience and the character. And the second possibility is you choose a star and you try that she disappeared behind the character. And it was our challenge, and obviously Mario was agreed with this challenge. It was also her challenge. How it's possible to disappear behind the character when you are a star? And we work together with this target. And we rehearse 5 weeks with Marion and the other actors. And the first desire, Luc and I, we wanted to work with her. And when we met her, and we told her we would like to work with her, and she answers, it's also my desire. It was nice, no?
That's easy.
It was a kind of love at first sight.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Bon. Maybe in French, I could speak a little bit more, but in English, it's finished.
Before going there, I would like to ask you and to tell what is really, very what I think très réussi in this movie is that it's not only the story of someone that goes to try to convince everyone, is what are behind these persons. How in a very some minutes you gave an idea of each of the stories of them without any cliche, just clear stories, the violence that sometimes exists and is not there, and something came, this time is her, but it could be any other thing, then this violence comes evident in this moment, and all this. That's why I think the film is the really very.
They are not stereotyped or representative of a situation. They are human beings with a situation. Yeah, sure. And everyone, every co-workers have a second job. Not maybe a black job, maybe not, but because now it's difficult to survive with just one salary. When you have children at the university, at school, a house, the rent of the house, or maybe you buy your house. Well, and it was important for us to show that. I try in English because it's difficult. It was important for us to show, to make a diagnostic of the society with foreigners, with Belgian from Belgium, and but not. It was very important that the viewer see each coworker like a human being, not like a black man, like an Arab man, like a Belgian. You know, it was difficult to find the situation. Not, it was against ethnic reading. You know, bon, it was difficult. Mais là, si je dois expliquer dans les détails, là, je ne peux plus parler anglais.
The only, you know, if you had made this movie here in Portugal, the problem is not the second job, it's the first job. There is no first job. If someone has one, is already at this moment incredible. You know, to have to go and take a second one, it's almost here. It's impossible, and that's why our crisis is much deeper.
When I went to your festival 3 years ago, I met a woman in the airport, on the ground, not in the flight. And she told me my salary was 1,400 euros. And I accept to lose 200 euros. And everybody on the ground, not in the air, on the front. It was in 3 years ago.
Yeah. You know, I would like in French, in Portuguese, or English, or Spanish. More, it would be difficult, you know, if someone wants to make. Alguém quer agora começar o diálogo, aproveitando que eles estejam aqui.
Anglais ou français? Ok. Les moines solidaires à l'entreprise sont des hommes et de jeunes hommes. C'est intentionnel ça ou c'était un hasard de la création? Les moines solidaires. Celui qui veut garder le prix sont des hommes et des jeunes hommes. La plupart de lui qui veut garder le prix.
Not only.
No, there is a woman, there is a young guy.
Mais celui avec les réactions les plus violentes.
Ah, that's the son of the father.
Et la femme qui voulait, elle a laissé le mari voudrait qu'elle votait contre Sandra.
Yes,
Et donc, mais c'est pas le cas. Donc, il n'avait pas une volonté de faire les hommes les moins solidaires, les jeunes hommes.
No, we haven't thought in this way.
Mm-hmm. C'est un hasard. C'est un hasard.
No, not really. No, but like told you, we don't see our characters in this way. But we are interested to make a sequence with a father and a son.
Okay.
The father hesitates. He hesitates, and the son, no, he doesn't hesitate because he's not. He doesn't. For us, he doesn't hear it of the story of the workers. And his father, maybe he hesitates here. He's more human, and the young no, because he's interested in cars, and we see that, and we understand also at the end that they are fragile in the enterprise, in this factory, because their contract is on short term. And maybe it is one of the reason of his bad behavior. But for example, we try also. You have there are one black man, three Arab men, and we try that one Arab man doesn't change his mind. It was also important because not to put the viewer in the situation to see a film with ethnical groups, you know, but only human being, and that's our goal when we work. Not with Sandra and with the others. Everyone, for us, every character is a human being, and we try that the audience feels the same thing.
For the migrant, it's important. Why? maybe he knows English.
Maybe I want to direct the next movie.
No, for the migrants, it's difficult to choose the way, because it's not because you are a migrant then you are solidaire. It's not true. But sometimes it's true. So it was a question. It was not a question for us. Some migrants are solidaire and some migrants are not, because in our film Silence of Sandra, she was a migrant, and she was to have money, to have a snack. Lorna, yes. J'ai dit Sandra, sorry. Jet lag. Silence of Lorna. She is from Kosovo. Yeah.
One thing that is, that as well, pleased me a lot is two things. First, that even if the vote is secret, at the end, they completely are there. They say, we vote for her. They are not afraid. That is first point, And second point, that you feel that all these, voyage, can you say, during these 2 days, these things, it makes someone stronger. At the end, she's much stronger than it was at the beginning, and happy. That's the two things that I think are important. And
exactly. For us, it's a movie about the fear, social fear, and fear between you and the boss, and not the boss, but Jean-Marc. Because in the factory, it's like that. It's difficult to be alone in front of the boss, face to face with him. And Sandra, at the end, she's able to do that. And she knows the same situation. You saw the movie, though. She knows the same situation, like the situation with the other coworker, between when Dumont said, told her, "Oh,
First, I want to congratulate you because this is a wonderful film, and I'd like to hear. It's not a question; it's more just a comment that I thought it was very interesting about the movie, because every worker doesn't matter if they are with Sandra or not, but all of them want to know about the other workers. Well, they are with you or not? So it's very interesting, the cynicism of the people, because they don't assume completely their position. They always rely on the others. And I thought this is very human. It's bad, but it's human. Thank you.
Yeah, it's easier to be with the group, with yeah. And it was important for us when Sandra meets a coworker. The subtext is, "I am like you. We are solidaire. I know, I understand your point of view. I am not agree, but I understand." Because it's not, Sandra, she's not a judge. She is not a court, a tribunal, a court. She understands. Even if she's not agree, she doesn't agree.
Good afternoon. I just...
Yeah, okay.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay. My question, it's more about an impression that I had during the whole movie. I noticed that Sandra was very shy about approaching her colleagues, because she felt guilty for force them to give up about their prize. And the co-workers also feel bad, because they also feel that another person is going to lose their job. So in a most general sense, what I feel was a very atomized group of people that is in some way totally instrumentalized by the factory, which is a reflect of the society, and people feel bad about making choices or having needs that are not their fault at all. So it's very distressing to see how atomized and atomisé this situation creates, because in a sense you feel always responsible for what happens. You are in the bottom of the pyramid, but you feel all the responsibilities. If you are less performant, it's your fault. If you are going to lose your job, it's your fault. If you are giving up somebody else's prices, it's your fault. And this was some of the messages that most impressed me, because unfortunately, this kind of situation surrounds us, all of us, all the time. So it's not even in factories like that. It's even on higher level jobs like technology and everything. So it's spread all over the society, and this impressed me a lot. And I really appreciate what you did. It's more than art. It's something that touches other people's hearts too.
I can answer in French. Mais ça, c'est le management des années 80. Ça commence à ce moment-là. C'est le management des années 80 qui va consister à rendre les gens plus autonomes dans les horaires, dans même le choix du partenaire pour travailler, etc., etc. Mais en même temps que vous gagnez l'autonomie, vous gagnez le stress d'être responsable du travail. Et dans les usines comme celles qu'on montre, les petites usines, chaque ouvrier, chaque travailleur est repérable, si vous voulez. À la fin du processus, il y a un panneau solaire. Et s'il y a un élément qui n'est pas bien construit, parce que ça n'a l'air de rien, mais il faut quand même être très précis, on sait dire, ah, c'est le numéro 7, c'est toi. Donc, vous voyez, il y a une individualisation du travail et il y a une autonomie du travailleur qui est plus grande qu'auparavant et qui fait que les gens sont vraiment responsables. Mais ce n'est pas seulement pour les travailleurs manuels, comme ici, c'est à tous les échelons. Et ça, c'est une donnée nouvelle hein, de nos sociétés. Avec laquelle je crois qu'il faut être, enfin, personnellement, en partie d'accord et en partie pas d'accord. Mais bon.
Hello. Can you hear me? All right. First, I would like to congratulate you on the movie. I was very impressed, and I would like to talk about a certain thing that that touched me in the movie, which was the understanding that during the movie we had contact with all the people who were making the choice in the end in the vote. One thing that that touched me was the fact that in the end the choice that they had to do was very influenced by the economic condition they were in, which means that even if someone wanted to make a moral choice, even if they wanted to choose what was best for her, they wouldn't be able to due to their situation, which makes me wonder in how many circumstances in our life we must make choices that don't benefit others because we have no other choice. It would be easier for some of those people to choose the option that let her keep the job, but they simply weren't able to because they would suffer if they didn't, even though some of them were maybe moral people, maybe people who are concerned with her, they simply can't. And it makes me wonder how much our economic situation, the money we have, influences our ability to make moral choices.
Yeah, and the question is?
No, it's more a comment that in a question that he...
That's a comment, yes.
Yes,
okay.
more a comment
okay.
that, you know, in our society, you know, the economic stress now, you know, makes the people forget other things like, you know, the moral choices and things like that.
It's more difficult. It's more difficult in the difficult society, difficulty of economy. It's more difficult to be solidarity with the others. It's easier when you are rich. It's not sure.
No, if they are rich, they were not solid.
In the rising, yes, it's okay. In the history, the people are more solidaire when the economic is good, it's rising.
I would like only to ask one thing before going back to the public. Did your work with Marion Cotillard made you change something in the script, or it was exactly how she read it from the starting, or she makes some, you know, comments that made you maybe to change some things?
We rehearsed 5 weeks, for 5 weeks, and in this rehearsal, she brings a lot of small things, small details. But we didn't change the scene. Maybe one, but I speak French because it's easier for me, and you translate. Dans le réfectoire, elle parle à Charlie. Et elle dit, bon, tel dernier, je t'ai pas vu, si toi tu votes pour moi, ben, on risque d'avoir la majorité. Et il dit, je sais pas, il était au match du Standard, la Belgique va bientôt jouer aussi, hein, il était au match, il dit, j'étais au match, je vais voir. Et à ce moment-là, il y a Jean-Marc qui entre, off, avec d'autres ouvriers, Julien et Jérôme. Et on entend que ça crie et que Juliette dit non, du calme, elle va sortir, etc. Et Marion, normalement, la caméra, bon, je raconte tout puis tu traduis, la caméra est sur Marion et quand on entend Juliette crier, au panoté, on faisait un panoramique, on trouvait le groupe qui s'engueule. Et puis, il y a Robert qui est assis, qui dit hein, qu'on n'ose pas donner son avis devant Jean-Marc, c'est pour ça qu'il ne veut pas que Jean-Marc soit là. Et là, on faisait ça, et on retrouvait Marion près de Robert, qui parle. Et donc, dans le off, Marion devait faire 3 pas. Et elle nous a dit, mais pourquoi est-ce que je vais près de Robert? Si ce n'est pour que la caméra me retrouve. Mais enfin, bon. Et alors, elle nous a posé la question, et avec elle, on a eu cette idée de dire, oui, comme tu es un peu insécure, là, tu ne sais pas très bien ce qu'il faut faire, tu vas demander à Robert, qu'est-ce que je fais? Je reste où? Et en même temps, comme on n'a jamais vu Robert, c'était l'occasion de dire Robert. Et on sait qui est Robert. Et on a appris que les spectateurs aimaient bien qu'on sache que c'était lui. Et en même temps, là, elle est près de lui. Donc ça, c'est elle qui a trouvé qui a été l'impulsion pour que la réflexion de Jean-Pierre, d'elle et de moi, nous trouvions ça. Et en même temps, c'était bien pour notre panneau, parce qu'on faisait un premier mouvement et puis on le prolongeait. Ça, c'est Marion qui est très concentrée sur son personnage, vraiment. Hein.
Portanto, isto foi caso de mise-en-scène puro, em que a Marion perguntei-lhe perguntaram se ela tinha influído algo, e ele deu o exemplo, não no essencial não, mas em pequenos detalhes deste, como uma das últimas cenas, quando eles já estão no refeitório antes do voto, em que ela vai falar com o Charlie e lhe diz, olha, só faltas tu, não te pude encontrar, o futebol, etc, etc. Portanto, ele diz, vai pensar, e nessa altura ouve-se barulhos e a câmara volta-se para esses barulhos e é o Julián, há um a dizer, mas ela está aqui a influenciar, o outro a dizer que o Jean-Marc a dizer mas que não queremos aqui o Jean-Marc e não sei o que é isto tudo, e de repente a câmara devia voltar e ela devia estar ao lado do Jean-Marc sem falar. E ela é que disse, porque é que eu vou fazer lá, ao lado dele, porquê? E foi a altura em que ela teve a ideia de ela se aproximar, mas falar, perguntar a ele, o Robert, que nunca se tinha aparecido no filme até aí, o que é que eu faço, e tal. E ao dizer Robert, o público pela primeira vez também se identifica a esse personagem do Robert, que se fala tanto no filme e que até aí não aparece. E isso foi uma ideia dele e que também, de uma certa maneira, justifica a panorâmica depois para trás e portanto, o movimento de câmara. Foi nessas pequenas coisas que ela ajudou. Penso que é isto mais ou menos que ela disse. Another question?
Ici, one thing that comes from your movies is that could be one of our story. It's very realistic. I mean, it's very earth to earth when you talk about, in this case, the social and labor relationships. I don't think it's a new phenomenon. It's just capitalism working. So I would like to ask you some questions about the story. Why did you choose not to have a union? Why did you choose to put the worker facing the other workers one by one, instead of having a union and meetings and working out a collective way for all the workers, because all of them were all of them deserved the price and they worked for it. So every argument that when they are talking to her, it's valid. I've worked for my prize, I have earned it. I have a short-term contract, so every argument is valid. So why did you not choose to put them in a collective way working and maybe through a union? And the second question is, do you really believe...
Well, step by step, no?
Okay.
Okay. Because the first two, well, there are two questions. And it's a little bit easy, but because we wanted to make this film. We wanted to tell this story, how it's possible in our society where the solidarity is decreasing, how it's possible to build solidarity. And we tried to tell this story. And in Belgium, about the trade unions, in Belgium, when you in the factory with less than 50 workers, you don't have any trade unions, except if you want to have one, but it's not an obligation. And the management of this factory is not obliged to have trade unions in his factory. Look, he hasn't. And in some bigger factories, the management divides his factory, their factory, with smaller factories with less than 50 workers. And like this, you don't have any trade unions in your factory. And in the reality in Belgium, it's like this. Here, I don't know, but in Belgium, it's like this. And if you remember, when my brother spoke about the origin of our film in France, there was a representative of trade unions, but he doesn't manage to change the situation. And we want, if you, well, Sandra tells a lot of time, could you put yourself in my shoes? And that's the key of our film. And I know it was possible to tell you another story with this kind of situation. Okay, but we wanted to tell a story about how it's possible today in our society with the economic crisis, how it's possible to change the others and to build, how it's possible to build solidarity, and how the solidarity can change yourself. Because Sandra, at the end of the film, is not the same. She has changed because of the solidarity of the others.
So can I make the second question?
The second question is for my mother. I'm tired now.
It's not possible to have a big meeting with 17 workers, 16.
Well,
and the social fear is very, very strong now.
yes.
And everybody is...
A
So
fast
it's-
second question.
The second question is related to the end of what you said. Do you believe that in real life, with the social relationships today as they are, this could happen? Do you really believe that this solidarity could happen?
Yeah, I think it's possible to change your mind. Yes, I think. 6 co-workers change their mind. I think it's possible. And the solidarity, the act of solidarity, the gesture of solidarity, in a long time, it was the same. It was very difficult because we have some friends in the trade unions, and today they try to lancer une grève, comment tu dis, lancer une grève.
They try to start
A strike. It's difficult. A strike for your factory is difficult. A strike in solidarity for another factory is more difficult. Now it's very difficult because everybody is afraid of the end of the month. The house, to pay the house, to pay the school, to pay the car, to pay the holidays, to pay, etc., etc. It's very difficult. But I think it's possible to change, and to change your mind. And when the film was released in France, a woman from the trade unions contact us, and she told, well, in your film, I think then a man like Timur or a woman like Anne, they change their mind, and in the future they will be solidaire always. It's not the same, they are not the same than in the beginning of the story. And I think for us it was important to show men and women able to change, able to do a journey like Sandra. And I think it's for our movie, because you make a movie not with a crew, with a lot of people, but some characters. And I think it's for the viewer, for the audience, it's more important to go into Sandra, you know, to have a lot of empathy for her and her journey, or the journey of Anne, of Timur. It's the same, but I think it's effectively it's a personal question, it's a moral question, and not only a social question, because they are alone. And it was important for us to show each co-worker in her or his house, alone, because now we are alone. It's a pity, and we are against that, but it's like that.
Okay, I think we have to finish. I have to run for. Il faut que je parte. Merci beaucoup d'être là. Hein. Merci.